Vessel of Hatred is a reason to return to Sanctuary. Perhaps you never needed one. If you're a seasonal slayer who spent the past 16 months gleefully extinguishing Helltides, then the first Diablo 4 expansion is best viewed simply as more of something you already love. But what I've discovered in the stretch of time since Lilith was first felled is that my lust for blood isn't eternal. The way in which developer Blizzard Entertainment has updated, experimented, and communicated within this live service model has been captivating, but it isn't for me. I need a hook, a clear target to focus my attention. Diablo 4 Vessel of Hatred provides exactly that. A new chapter tracks the spread of corruption south of the Kyrgyzstan border into the lush lands of Nantu, a region sealed off from the mainland for centuries, wilting now as Neyrelle treads a sealed primeval through this spiritual sanctuary. A fresh new class is introduced to the franchise, expanding the scope of play well beyond the carefully constructed archetypes Blizzard sought to initially capture. The resurrection and reinvention of key Diablo 2 systems like mercenaries and rune words, and a suite of core changes which keenly build on the successes of the Season 4 Loot Reborn patchwork. If Blizzard could be accused of anything with Diablo 4, it's that the studio played it a little safe with its initial outlay of classes. Such was the desire to reconnect with the traditions that fueled the series' past successes. This could have continued into Vessel of Hatred through the introduction of a paladin, monk, or crusader archetype, although what we received instead is something far more ambitious. The Spiritborn is an impressive addition to the roster, a martial artist who decimates demonic forces with lightning-fast, two-handed melee strikes and the mystical synergy of 4 spirit guardians. The scope for complex build planning is honestly a little overwhelming. Even now, as I push well beyond the revised level 60 character level cap and wade into the Paragon board depths, I'm still reassigning skill points with a mixture of trepidation and anticipation. It's possible to build powerhouse Spiritborn class builds, regardless of whether you favor direct, area of attack, or overtime damage vectors. New effect modifiers in ferocity, attack speed, and resolve, damage reduction, are compelling, adding further depth to the vigor-resourced class. Spiritborn doesn't fill the sword and board shaped hole in the roster, but I suspect it'll appeal to players of all character fantasy disciplines. Kurast has been reborn following its fleeting appearance in Act 3 of Diablo 2, allowing you to push beyond city limits and out into the wider region of Nantu for the first time. It's another excellent addition, a visually dense and ecologically diverse patchwork of arid deserts and overgrown jungles that are a delight to explore. Having spent the last year moving like a magnet between points of interest in Sanctuary, Nantu provides enough reason to dismount and wander the wilds again. Story and side quest missions are spread a little thinly, although newly themed dungeon excursions are enough of a draw to tread all of its locations. The promise of Vessel of Hatred's campaign tethered itself to a reunion with Neyrelle, the Heradric apprentice shouldering the burden of exorcising Mephisto from a shattering soulstone. Given the implications of such an action and the historical significance of Travençal to the Diablo tapestry, I expected the story to reach a little wider. It's a solid extension, but lacks the weight or cinematic flair that Blizzard is so uniquely capable of capturing. Still, it's a welcome reminder of how well written Diablo 4's characters are. Neyrelle, reflecting on the deteriorating hope shared by all who shelter under Sanctuary's blackened skies. The Wanderer, a kind, calming presence who provides a light in the dark for all who stumble within their orbit. A larger draw than the Vessel of Hatred's campaign itself is the addition of mercenaries. Falling somewhere between the throwaway nature of Diablo 2's hirelings and the complexity of Diablo 3's followers, these co-adventurers ease the burden of exploring Nantu alone, which is particularly helpful as world tier impact and enemy density has been wildly scaled up for this expansion. Recruited as you journey across the main quest, mercenaries add new dynamics to combat which are easy to appreciate, though addition of a party finder matchmaking system means it's easier than ever before to team up with other players in search of company in Sanctuary. I'm less taken by the return of rune words, which temporarily improve elements like movement speed and skill effectiveness. These effects activate by slotting one of 17 runes of ritual into an item socket alongside one of 28 runes of invocation, the impact triggering once certain conditions are met. It's a neat concept, and there are plenty of combinations, but I struggled to feel the results. Similarly, a new multi-stage time attack dungeon in Kurast Undercity is a fun distraction, but doesn't have the same repeatable thrills as the core set of more defined dungeons and world events scattered around Nantu. Diablo 4 is in a really good place now, and Vessel of Hatred will only widen its appeal. If this is the model for expansions moving forward, then I'm confident that Blizzard has the capacity to maintain momentum over the long haul. The grasp the Lord of Hatred has over Sanctuary has grown a little tighter, and I'm keen to see where the adventure goes from here. We give Diablo 4 Vessel of Hatred 4 stars out of 5. So, will you be playing Vessel of Hatred? If so, what are you most looking forward to? Let us know in the comments, and as always, stick with GamesRadar for the latest reviews, news, and more.